Thank you for being here. I won't be that long. Let me say to begin with that the House's action today was, of course, not a surprise. It was a foregone conclusion. In fact, what the House did today, they've been talking about doing for the last couple of years. In fact, the first discussion of doing what they did today, they started talking about back in the summer of 2007 when they failed to pass a budget and we were facing a government shutdown, and I was calling the House into special session to try to work to get a budget so we can keep government operating. So this is not something that came as a complete surprise to me. It happened kind of fast, but again, kind of expected and part of the process that has essentially been the dynamic in Illinois since I was re-elected governor in November of 2006. From the very moment of my re-election, I've been engaged in a struggle with the House to try to get things done for people. I've worked very hard and continue to keep pushing and prodding the House to pass a capital construction program, a public works program, a jobs program, one that would create anywhere from 500,000 to 750,000 jobs. The House has stood in the way of letting that happen.
Okay, when you listen to that, what do you hear in his voice?
I can't say it on the radio.
Uh-oh.
Or am I allowed to say words like that?
Don says we can say whatever we want.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. I hear defensiveness. I hear justification. I hear obfuscation. Talking about this thing, but going over here and talking about something else. And blame.
Mm-hmm.
That was the governor of Illinois that's just been arrested today. He was impeached and he wouldn't leave, so they arrested him. What is he actually being charged with?
He's being charged with trying to sell the Senate seat, with trying...
This is Obama's vacated seat, okay?
Obama's vacated Senate seat. With trying to sell a road program that he was trying to get higher bids for so that he could have extra funding for himself personally.
You mean kickbacks?
Yeah, kickbacks. And those, a lot of the things he were involved with were kickbacks. He was trying to get government jobs for people who could assure him and his wife positions once he was out of office that earned a certain type of income that he felt they needed to survive, because apparently they're in debt.
Are most politicians that way and he just got caught?
I think probably.
This is today. FBI arrests Governor Rod Blagojevich. He was seeking to benefit financially from his appointment of a successor to the U.S. Senate seat that was vacated by President-elect Barack Obama. Is there a law that says he can't sell that seat?
For personal funding?
Oh, the money went to him, not to the state.
Yeah, the money went to him.
He was also arrested with his top aide, John Harris, for public corruption. Would you like to know the truth? What he really felt? Now, he was saying that this is some kind of personal vendetta. Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? They've been trying
that they've got it out for him.
Yeah. So, some of the things that he said, he's going to fight every step of the way. I don't know how he's going to fight from prison. What I did was take that whole stuff and I put it in a file and I put it as a composite. And if you want to know what somebody thinks about an entire conversation, record the conversation and you can get a very general view. Now, I would think this would come up emotional or mental. Wouldn't you think? Justification is mental stuff. Mm-hmm. I would think there'd be a lot of yellow here.
Like he thought out his argument.
Yeah. Look what came up. Green. Remember what green means?
Plan before action, right?
Plan before action. So did he plan on making that statement? This is about even. And look at his highest notes here are emotional planning and spiritually carrying something out. A and A sharp are management. It's also spiritual numbers. But there was a plan here in place. This has been looked at for a long time. He planned to do this. The next one there is emotion. He has a lot of emotion tied to this. Now this is the whole composite speech. He planned it. He planned the speech. He planned the whole thing. It wasn't any spontaneous thing that he did. This is in the planning stages all along with an emotional bent to it. But you said he made some kind of plan where he and his wife could get money down the road once he wasn't governor anymore. So he's had this in mind for a long time. And remember that the highest note there was A sharp. And remember the stuff about lying that we've said all along, weeks all along. Let's look at his A sharp and E. A sharp and E about equal. That's where you tell when people are lying. He's not lying. He really believes that. He really has this people are out to get me kind of thing. That's a little freaky for a governor. He looks very young in his picture. Here it is where he's saying that people are out to get him. I took one little piece of it. They've been trying this for a long time. I'm the good guy. They've been trying to get me since I've been fighting for the people. Where's his energy?
He's more gone on A and A sharp, but that C is really high. And
C is really high, and remember the chart, and you can get this right on our site, or we'll send it to you. C is ego. Mental, yellow, mental ego. What's he protecting here? Where he's saying, I didn't do it. I did it for the purpose of the people, and somebody else is trying to stop me. Emotions. Look at the emotion in this thing. Look at his spontaneous denial. And A sharp is about spirituality, one, and it's about planning your resources. So lots of emotion. Look at his A blue and A sharp red. So I'm going to do this and it's going to be emotional. I don't know that he wants it to be emotional. He tried to keep it pretty calm and just do some blaming stuff going on. But really his ego is incredibly involved in a very mental, protective way here. But he is very emotionally involved in this, even though his statements were, people are out to get me when I'm trying to do something good. This shows that it's personal. Look at the B. B is how you deal with other people, how you support other people, how you be empathetic to other people. Now, is he emotionally empathetic to other people? The B is very, very small, isn't it? As compared to this very high spontaneous. I'm going to do something spontaneous with very little emotion. So he hasn't thought this through, how anybody else can be supported here but himself. F, a plan that's higher than normal, but his plan is all emotional in support of protecting his ego here. And there's a big division in left and right brain. His right brain is all emotional. Remember that C and F is left brain, logic and what should be, and then F sharp and B, all of the emotional stuff. So he has this right brain, spontaneous emotions. This is the kind of person, if you really push them, they'll start kicking and screaming and attacking, and I'm not going to talk about that. Nobody who's responsible is going to say to you, we're just not talking about that. There's no use talking about that. They don't consider that you have a need to talk about it. It's, I'm not going to be caught up in that. I'm not going to be juvenile enough to bring that up. It's just a protection mode. They want to see themselves perfect. You know, where is this stuff that says we have to be perfect? Are we seeing that from TV or superheroes or books, or just something we attain to be this perfect person?
I think it's just something expected in general.
Are we trained to
I
that
think
when
so.
we're very young? A good boy does this.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a perfect person, you'd have every color and they'd be even all the way across. But I bet you'd be really boring.
Well, then it's good that I'm not that in any of mine.
Isn't it our differences
Mm-hmm.
that makes us exciting people?